All right, awesome. Thanks everyone for joining tonight. This is our first meeting since the annual meeting, right? In August? I think
Yes.
so. Yeah, yeah. So it's great to see everybody. I just wanted to say thanks for everyone who came to the in-person annual meeting. It was a really great time, great weather, and I think it was really rewarding. We raised a lot of money. Justin yesterday had said in our board meeting on Monday actually, that we have about over $4,000 in our bank account right now. Yeah, fourth, and that's after paying for like the tent and I believe the website fees that we had with the person who was helping us get that together. So that is definitely good and great to hear. Uh, I wanted to mention a few things tonight that we had talked about, and I don't think I really touched upon it. I mentioned it at the like in-person meeting, but we would love to have new board members. So for anybody out there that's watching this after the fact, or for anybody on this call right now, we are looking for new board members. We have, I believe, three to four open spots for regular board members, and it's like not that big of a lift to do. It's just an additional the board does meet like about like probably the same frequency as this regular meeting, about once a month or so. And it's just we try to figure out some directional stuff, talk about like ideas for like communication and like stuff that's on the horizon, and just really just be like a decision, kind of directing some of these decisions that we make as a group. It would be, like I said, just about like one meeting a month type of a thing, extra, similar to this. And like we would love to have additional people. We have a lot of representation from Wales currently on the board, which is not a problem. But if somebody from Sabattus or Green would be looking to get involved too, we would definitely think that's a plus because I believe right now, I grew up in Sabattus, but I don't live there, and I'm also not technically a board member. But anybody who is interested in like participating in that way, we would love to have you. So I'll make a couple posts over the next few weeks about potentially people joining to be board members, um, and just give it some thought. And like I said, we'd love to have you. So is there anybody on here right now that would be interested in being a board member? Lou, I know you're pretty stacked and stuff. But
Is there anything from the annual meeting as far as a minutes report or anything?
I think Justin did take minutes. I can definitely get that from him and send that out to people. I have a presentation too that I can definitely send out as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We were hoping to be there, but something else came up that we had to attend. So.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. We had also thought about potentially even recording it too, but might have been difficult with the in-person aspect, but maybe potentially
Just an
something.
annual report or something like that, it'd be fine.
Yeah, yeah. I do release the annual report in January, but definitely something, at least the minutes and like a summary of what we talked about would be good too. So that's a good point, Ken. I appreciate that. Awesome. Great. So that goes for the board members.
There's Anthony.
Yes. Yeah. How's it going, AB?
Yeah,
Thanks for
sorry I
joining.
got caught up in a meeting at work. Good to see everyone.
No worries. All right. And a couple things. We've received a lot of interest. And Donna had also expressed some interest too, and potentially getting like one of our speakers for our next meeting to be have some insight and like information on like septic systems and like options for cleaning septic systems and just general information about them. Also too, like maybe some historical information about the Sabattus Water District or Water Sanitation District that is on the Sabattus side of things, and maybe just talking a little bit about that and how it's relevant to our lake history. And I think that would be definitely a cool idea to have. So that would potentially be on the books for our October meeting, which would be good. So just something like that coming down the pike. But if anybody, again, on here watching after the fact has any interest in like a specific item related to like our pond and watershed health that you would like a guest speaker for, definitely submit it to us. You can send it to me by email, or you can comment on like any of the Facebook pages or anything like that. And we can definitely try
Well,
to
on
get
the
that.
septic system, is there anybody on this forum right now that has a suggestion as to person either from Sabattus or that that's involved with septic systems? You have any recommendations of somebody that we might reach out to who would address the rest of the group about septic in general? No septic engineers here? Okay.
I work a lot with wastewater and stormwater, but on a much different scale than a septic system.
There's,
Well,
there's been
I
a lot
put
of,
up,
there's been a
I
lot
put
of
up,
advertising on TV recently about, new type septic systems that don't require much space.
well, can you send us any information on that? Because
I'd
it
have
would
to, I'd have
be
to look
interesting.
into it and see what I can find. Like I say, it's
Yeah.
been advertising I've seen on TV.
I haven't seen that, but I've got a folder in which see names like Pat Jackson and Mosier and there's another one that's escaped my mind right now. Maybe some of you have used septic cleaners that could just send along who you've used, and we could reach out to find somebody that could talk to the rest of us. What they do, what they've seen, what they recommend. I don't want to talk about any specific problems as much, more of just a generalized perspective as to what is a septic system, what is a holding tank, how do they work?
Septic system in general has a tank, there's a holding tank outside the house, and that feeds into a leach field, which takes off all the liquid. The solids stay in the tank, and that's pumped out periodically. So we've got one at home, but we're on city sewer up at the lake. So one of the reasons we bought the place because it was on city sewer, and we didn't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
So don't some places just have a holding tank and not a septic system?
A lot of them probably do.
What it is there are restrictions on how far your septic system can be from your well
And the water, and from the water.
from the water. And the rule of thumb used to be your well had to be 100 feet from your septic system.
And how do you do that on a 50-foot lot?
Oh, you can't, and that's
Right.
those can't have holding tanks, or they don't have a well. They pump from the lake, a holding tank or some type of a leach field. And what's happened is the years and years ago, people did both. Now we put ours in. We had to redo ours a few years ago. And we had to go through the state, and the state came in, and they had a gentleman came to our house, and he designed it for us, and that had to be presented to the state.
George Bucles.
George, what's his name?
Good contact name, George Bucles.
George
Bucles.
Bucles. And he drew out the plans, what had to happen. We had to go get a easement because our well wasn't exactly 100 feet from it. But they took that into consideration of where it was and in reference to the septic system, and it was approved. Dave Cody, who happens to be a very good friend of mine, installs septic systems all the time, as he does that a lot. So Dave Cody did ours based on
And they're both
the
right in
plans.
Green.
And they're both right in this town of Green.
I think George is, I'm not sure.
I don't know if George is still doing this. And then you have a company like Maine Septic. We had Maine Septic come to the house when we bought a camp beside us, and they pumped out the tank, and they went through all the lines with a camera, and they followed the lines to the septic tank, and then they found the leach field, and they put probes in the ground and probed and found all the tubes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that also was within the inspection of selling the place. So it's just that years and years ago, people just dug a hole, put a barrel in the ground, and put a trench with a crushed rock and a pipe in it, and that's an illegal septic system today. I think what's happening in most towns today is if you're going to buy a place or build a place, you have to bring it up to the new code. And it's very expensive. You know, they're not cheap. They're talking, I think ours was like 10 grand. They're not cheap. But there are, to your point, Donna, there are people like, I mean, I know Dave Cody very well, and he puts in septic systems. I don't know if he's the type of guy that would want to get on here and talk. He's a very
Shy and introvert.
Yeah, he's very introverted, but he knows a lot. He knows a lot. But this other guy that I'm talking about, he knows about a bunch of other systems. They have, like somebody mentioned earlier, there are systems now that you can have a septic system within a 10 square foot area, and it'll do what it is supposed to do based on number of people living in the house. There's a lot of restrictions on what you can build, you can put in. Like we also own a lot. Jeannie and I own a lot behind us on Nason Rock Road. Now that's been approved for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, honey.
Yeah.
3-bedroom bath home septic system. So you can't put 4 bedrooms. You can't put 5 bedrooms. You can only put a maximum of 3 bedrooms in that home. That's the only septic system we'll have. So there are restrictions. It's just it's a lot of old cottages, camps around Sabattus, Wales, and Green that probably today would never pass inspection. They don't want them inspected because they can't afford to repair it, or they wouldn't be able to put one in.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And that's one of the, I mean, I hear this often from one of my neighbors. The reason why the lake didn't turn green this summer is because there's no water in the septic systems, didn't leach into it. It's all septic systems in his mind. That's all that's causing this pond to turn green every spring, every summer. And I try to convince him there's other reasons, but it's definitely, it's a summer residents coming back home, opening up their camps and leaching into the lake.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you talk to them over and over and over about, well, the reason it isn't because the lake is so low, everything that would be underwater now and turn green and bloom is not underwater because there's no water. The plants grow under the water. Photosynthesis takes place. It comes to bloom. They can't do that this year because there's no water. What's left of the lake is deeper and the sun isn't reaching it. But it's a hard sell with this particular person.
Yeah.
Well, another thing people don't realize too is if they have a holding tank, it needs to be pumped periodically.
They do. Yeah.
I think it's every year.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the usage.
Yeah, it depends on the usage.
Yeah. And I think to Donna's point too, like just simply like learning more about that process and like whether those like, you know, rules or like those like best practices for like septic tanks and stuff might be nice to know and have a recording of. It is difficult, man, because like there is so much more in play than just septic systems and like, you know, like when soil does erode into the pond itself, that's very nutrient rich. Where's the first place it's going to be? On the shoreline that doesn't have water this year too. So like high concentrations of this type of stuff is probably very much like on the shoreline itself.
Remember those pictures? Remember those pictures I posted with that heavy rain we had?
Yeah.
Back? Okay. That little channel between me and Hot Dog Road was brown.
Yeah.
Brown with dirt. And that's all erosion coming down through from the road into there. And if you looked at that channel earlier before we left, the weeds are 4 feet tall.
That's
Weeds
wild.
on the dirt.
Yeah.
And it's all rich soil right there. It's all topsoil is basically what it is. I mean, I pulled wheelbarrows full myself, and my neighbor pulled 10 times more than I did. And it's still, some of them are 3 and 4 feet tall.
And we've got plants growing out in the offshore area that are 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no,
And are
that,
technically underwater.
that
We've
would,
already pulled out 6 barrels, and we got another 15 or 20 to go.
exactly. And that would be that would all be underwater. Now,
Right.
some of the plants will die, I've been told, because they're not aquatic plants. And they won't die, but when they do die underwater, it generates more phosphorus. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, you know.
Yeah.
But back to the
I almost, so sorry to interrupt, Lane. I almost agree with Donna's first comment that it would just be good to see if anyone knows. You know, like, do you know what goes down your drain? Where what goes down your drain?
well,
You know,
what,
simple question and start from there. And if someone doesn't know, I mean, try and provide as much guidance as possible. I mean, like we were talking about, I mean, whether it's a legal septic system or not, I mean, everything that comes out of our properties that aren't on a public sewer goes into the lake. So if you're using, you know, harsh cleaners, if you're using over the counter, I mean, just, you know, very highly phosphorus, you know, cleaning products and laundry detergent and dishwashing detergent, that it's all going right in the lake, even if you have a septic system, you know. So I think it's a good idea. Just, you know, and with a septic, just starting with, do you know what happens when the water, you know, when it goes down your drain?
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of start an educational, you know, presentation about this topic.
one of the things you can do is an easy test that I did on the camp we bought beside us. We had to pour a food coloring in the toilet and down the sinks, and you flush the toilet. And it's going into the lake, it will show up in the water. It'll come out through the pipe, wherever that is, it's going to come out and show.
Right. If it's a direct pipe into the lake, which, you know, many in this year with the water being lower, so they, you know, we know where the pipes are that comes, or a lot of them. No, more talking about just the dry well. You know, someone puts in a garage and they put a drain and, oh, I'll just dig a hole, so throw some gravel in it, and then they tie their washer and dry, you know, the washer in the garage to that drain, and so it's going into a dry well. So you won't really, you know, the dye won't show up in the water, but at least still contaminating the groundwater. You know, I mean, it takes a while for it to seep in. But yeah, interesting thing this summer, I think it was August or so, but I was talking with someone that had an issue. I'm not going to go into specifics, but had an issue. You know, they weren't sure where their pipe went for the washing machine, and always had certain issues, and they changed laundry detergents, and the issue they were having went away. So meaning probably their washing machine, you know, goes into a dry well, which so many do. Washing machines, you know, who knows, dishwasher, you know, I mean, we're all, you know, most people have camps. The difference being the type of detergent they were using or cleaner they were using made the difference on the clarity of water by their house.
The only way to really answer your question, Donna, is a forced state inspection of all septic systems around the lake.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not a big one into using forced regulation. At least that wouldn't be my first step of approach.
Nobody's going to own up to it. I'm not saying nobody will. It's hard to own up to it when you know you can't afford to replace it, or you might not even be able to replace it. So,
Well, let's open up the discussion anyway. Okay, you're all okay with that, right?
all about it.
I think increasing like education about these types of things, because you know, like we've talked about just tonight too, some people just might not know, like you know, might not know process, like its impacts, like and you know, I think it's a really great idea to have somebody on here like Donna suggested that is informed. And you know, I'm going to be reaching out to the sanitation district, the Sabattus one, and their wastewater treatment plant, and reaching out to some of the local people who do this for a job too, because I think that knowledge is really practical to have as well. So if you know anybody or you've worked with anybody that's done work on yours, send us an email and we can reach out to them too. Maybe we can have like a little panel on here to get some really diverse like thoughts. And then like, we'd like to also have, you know, educational information that we can pump out too after that. So,
What I will do is I will reach out to Dave Cody,
Great.
Yeah.
out to George, and I'll have,
George Clay. Oh, thank you.
and I'll,
George Clay.
I'll-
Yeah.
and ask if they would be willing to do our meetings one night. Probably George would have the most knowledge of types of septic systems today, if he's even doing it anymore. But I will reach out to him, and if he says yes, and then I will set it up so that we can have him in one of our Zoom meetings.
That'd be a good thing to do because, like I say, I've heard a lot of advertising about new systems that are a lot more efficient than some of the previous.
And they are. Yep. But I will do that, and I can only say no. Yeah.
Well, even somebody at the state would probably be aware of some of these new systems that they could educate us on.
yeah. And, it might be like there's grants and tax incentives out there for heat pumps, like to convert to cleaner energy. Maybe there's like resources out there to upgrade and like change over septic systems to something that's more environmentally friendly too. So I think just baseline, just getting more info is a good thing. So yeah.
Do a little more homework on it if you don't mind, and I'll do some checking, and if I have to, I'll do some calling and see if I can't come up with a speaker.
Yeah, yeah, and the hope would be for the October meeting, and if we need some extra time, we can push it to November too.
Okay.
I don't think there's a big hurry in this because I think we would want to advertise to our membership or to anybody who's like you've got a couple hundred people on our email list, don't we? Or people that
But I think
come on.
last time I checked, Facebook was up over 500.
There you go. That's what I was trying to. So
Yeah,
I'd like to let those people know that we're going to have this discussion or
Yeah.
this informational meeting.
We'll post it on the page.
And we hope to get our first newsletter out by October as well. So we can advertise it in there too, which I think would be good. And we're trying to shoot for a quarterly newsletter, maybe with some issues in between, but just starting off with that and like having some like stories and stuff. Our first one will feature the grant and information about that because I know there's a lot of questions about that out there too. So
I'll bet each town's plumbing inspector would know everything you need to know about septic systems.
I would think so. I don't know if he knows about design.
Well, design, you got to go to an architectural firm, design firm, but the plumbing inspector would know. So each town has a plumbing inspector.
Yeah.
They would know about the septic.
Yeah, you're right.
is that like a hired position or is it contracted out? Do you know?
Plumbing inspector?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each town has one. Code enforcer, plumbing inspector.
Oh, okay. So that's the same position.
Maybe wearing the same hat, but each
Yeah.
town has one.
Just
feel
as
like
an
that's the-
update, I was looking at our Sabattus page on Facebook. We got 601.
Yeah.
Well, what's a plumbing inspector do, Lou?
Well, if you need a permit, you got to go through a plumbing inspector.
A permit for what?
Any type of plumbing.
Yeah. If you
Septic is considered plumbing.
if
If
you
you
do
were
it,
to add a new bathroom, but not if you were to just replace something, but
if you do, well, it depends on what you're replacing. In some instances, you have to bring it up to code. If the codes change, you got to change the plumbing. So if you draw a permit, they're going to require an inspection. A lot of people don't draw permits; they just job.
Right.
So they
It's just like a building inspector. You need to have stuff. You need to hire, not hire, but contact a building inspector. Well, there's plumbing inspector as well. Electrical inspectors. It may be the same person, but they know what's going on with septic systems. So somebody in Wales, I'm sure, is a plumbing inspector. You can contact them.
coincidentally, that could be Alan Plummer.
Yeah, we just have we just have a CO in Wales. We just have a CO. We don't have multiple anything.
one person does multiple jobs.
Yeah, just the code enforcement.
Yeah, I think it all falls under their umbrella for like municipalities as small as ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might
Um,
even reach out to Main Septic because I think they install septic systems too. But
yeah.
I'll do some research.
Wayne, could you also look into if there's anybody at the state level that does this? Yeah.
Will.
Thank you very much. Cool.
Yeah, actually, Wayne, where did remember those pictures you posted a while back? Who wrote those?
What
you
was
just
that?
posted some pictures about septic runoff into the lake and other runoff.
Oh, I got that online. I just Googled.
Oh, okay. I thought you got it from some state agency. Okay. Yeah.
I wish I could tell you I did it, but no, I got it from Google.
Since we got Gary and Lou here, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for taking pictures and keeping us updated about the dam. Those have been wonderful to see. Hold on, I can share my screen real quick here, but looks like you guys are making some good progress. Like everything on schedule, everything on track.
I'm sure the fact we've had no rain has helped.
That's been
Yeah.
a factor, but yeah, we are on track. I mean, we may even get done a little early, but you never know. So we don't want to say that, but right now we're on track.
Awesome. Are you guys seeing the pictures on the screen? Are you like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
love how
Um,
you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is really cool to see. Like just growing up on Conway Street, literally right next door to this. I used to go down here all the time and like, play down in the little quieter waters when the dam was just a trickle. And like it's wild to see it completely dug out and like see how smooth this rock is too, which is crazy. But that's not doing anything. But
It took 3 weeks to prepare that just before they could even put the forms in there. So all the
Yeah.
rock that you see, there was a lot of work, a lot of drilling, they didn't blast, but a lot of cleanup.
yeah, I'm sure.
So now it's all cement work and the gates are in, and look at all the rebar. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And right where you're showing that cursor, they blew
Yeah.
that in with the shotcrete the other day.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Isn't that the giant hose that just shoots the concrete at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the picture I saw today on our website was a beaver dam that looks just as good. No, just kidding. God.
Like this I imagine is like the part of the road that they built, Lou, is that correct? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
Yeah,
a temporary road.
is that going to be removed before or
yeah.
like
Oh,
is
Yeah. Oh,
okay, yeah.
That's
Because I was
actually,
looking at it and I was like,
it's actually part of the cofferdam.
oh, okay, yeah.
It's kind of all those white bags on the cofferdam, and that's the backfill to keep it from seeping through, and a road to be able to work on it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. This is some great work. It looks good. And I'm sure you guys are going to be excited to only have to do this with a hand drill now.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know. Yeah.
What-
Yeah, no, it's amazing. They're doing it. Yeah, they're doing an amazing job. Yep.
One question to Lou and Gary is the fishway, is that controllable or is it always open?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, there's a series of I don't remember exactly how many baffles there are, stages to get through it.
Okay.
But I want to say it's somewhere around 25 or so, but we basically have 7 at the end that we use to control the flow through the fish ladder.
Thank you.
Plus,
Yeah.
there's a gate. We have a gate too.
Yeah, because you couldn't let the
It's going to be on this side, right? Like
What?
Yes.
where my cursor is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Downstream.
Yeah.
Nope. What are you talking? No. What are you talking about? The fish ladder?
Yeah.
No, the fish ladder is. No, move your cursor up just a hair, right there. Get backwards.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it's back just a tiny bit.
Right
Okay.
there.
If you go back to the picture from the front, that piece of concrete that sticks out, that's the fish ladder. Nope,
Oh,
no, keep going. So
Nope.
the fish ladder is all that rebar on the
Yeah.
south side. And then, okay, so see that concrete pad? That's the fish ladder. The dam gates are going where that scaffolding is.
right here.
That's where the dam gates are, the
Yeah.
top and drop bottom gates. But where that concrete is with that fire extinguisher or whatever, that air tank,
Yeah.
that's the fish ladder coming into the lake.
No,
Yep, on the north side.
well, I thought you were asking where they're coming from when they come out.
Yeah.
Downstream, it's on the other side,
Yeah.
like there. Oh, no, wait. There. See it go up and back. It goes back and forth.
Oh, I see. It's like a ring. Yeah.
It goes,
Correct.
yeah, that's it. You just got it.
Go backwards.
Yeah.
Go backwards. That's the entrance from coming up the stream. That's
Right.
that's the south side of the spillway. You know, the exit of the dam.
That's right.
But yeah, where you see all that rebar, that's a ramp to get up, and then where that form is, that's the other side of that ramp.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's really, it's gonna be gorgeous. The amount of ledge that's there, it's gonna be really nice.
No, that's very exciting. Awesome. And shout out to Chris. Some of these photos are beautiful. I don't know if anybody's been noticing that, but
Mhm.
exciting stuff. That's good to hear. Let's see, what else do I got in here? Oh, cleanup. So is anyone on here participating in the cleanup that we are having this weekend?
Mm.
Not me. I'm in Florida, so I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out.
Okay. So I will definitely reach out to the people who have emailed about it. I just wanted to see because Justin is unfortunately out of commission. He's okay, but he is he has to have surgery, or he had surgery today. So he is recovering from that, and we will kind of adjust. But we do have some students coming from Oak Hill that are actually trying to get some of their volunteer hours. So we just need some help and some coordination on the ground there. And with Justin out of commish, we want to make sure that somebody might has a truck available that can maybe transport some stuff to the dumps that's a little bit bigger than just your normal like household trash that people pick up. But I will reach out about all of that information. And just a quick reminder for anybody who's listening that is participating, both the Sabattus and Green dumps do not take concrete. But if you do have cleanup that's from the lake and then you go try to drop it off, just make sure that you mention that to them because they are waiving any fees associated with that dump, like dumping it off at the dump. And I realized I just said dump about 6 times, but transfer station is, I think, what Sabattus likes to call it. So if you go there, just mention that this is stuff that you cleaned up from the pond, and concrete is not something that they will take, but Justin did some awesome legwork and found a company that would take it as fill. And I'm just going to get that information. And when I email those people, I'll pump it out there too. But thank you everyone who did. I know we do have a decent amount of volunteers, and of course to the students that are also going to be volunteering too. So hopefully you guys have some good weather for it. And we, pick up some stuff along the pond. And I just want to give credit where credit's due. Like throughout this whole summer, while the pond has been low, like we have over and over again seen just people out on walks, just picking stuff up. And honestly, like that's the stuff that makes a difference. I know it's small stuff here and there, but every bit you remove is still, information or is still like trash and debris that is no longer there. So I realized I was showing pictures and nobody could see it. 1 second, I'll share my screen again.
Yeah, the summer people not used to seeing that. The year-round people see it every fall.
Yeah.
The summer people don't, so it's kind of an opportunity for them to clean up in front of their place. And
Yeah.
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 So that date, is it only the 27th, or will 2 towns accept stuff from the lake anytime? Nick?
I think I'll get specifics on that. I don't want to say something wrong, but when I talked to Justin about it, I can't imagine I think it is the same day. Like you'd have to go drop it off that day if you collect a lot of stuff. So I'll just get confirmation on that and then send it out on our actual page and email list. And I'll also contact the people who did email us directly and said they wanted to volunteer. And also too, the the people over at Martins Point that do I believe, and I might get their names wrong, but the Martins Point Association, they organized a cleanup a few weeks ago that went really well too. And definitely like credit where credit is due, picking up a lot of garbage and trash all throughout. So there are a couple different things too, but just make sure that, and Donna or AB, correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody said to not pick up specific things, leader lines.
Yeah, I just remember there was just some exchange. I'm not sure it was that direct, but it was in front of their property. And so I think when we talked about it, I just raised the issue. I'm not saying you knock on their door, but I would just be aware that not everyone might be happy about it, but I could be totally overreacting and people may not care.
Just for
Well,
the
one thing
record too, Sabattus is only open Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. They
Yeah.
close at 3.
That's good too. Times.
And Justin told me that the transfer station would only take items on the day of the cleanup.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Donna. So the day only of the cleanup, and
That's what Justin told me.
Sabattus's transfer station ends ends at 3. Jeez. And
Green is at 5,
green is at 5. Okay. Are they open Saturday, Sunday too?
not
Just-
Sunday.
Not
Just
Sunday,
Sat-
just Saturday. Okay.
Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
So I wonder about my 8 by 10 foot floating dock that kind of got lost. I wonder if they'll take that. Just kidding. I don't know how
Is
we
it-
would even get there.
I'm sure, Donna, I'm sure if you put it on the top of your Saab, you could get it there. One or the other.
We'll
Just hit
figure
the
out.
brakes,
later.
it'll come off.
It floated down to Gary's property. That's why he's got a say in this.
Exactly. You'd start with the canoe.
I know that too.
Take the canoe first. It's at the
I'm
top
just
of the-
dispersing all of my worldly goods.
Yeah.
on your neighbors. I know. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just looking over everything that we talked about. And I think we covered everything. So we have a couple more, we have about 15 minutes left. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about? What's going on in the towns, the pond? Anything have you noticed? Yeah.
Nick, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's donated their bottles and cans to this cause. Because I have neighbors that live in Massachusetts, and when they come up for the weekend, they bring all the bottles and cans with them. And my neighbors are dropping bottles and cans on my driveway.
Well, you're not
I think the last time I went, I had $14 in bottles. That's a lot of bottles and cans.
That's a lot.
So those are doing it. And I talk to all my neighbors every time. Hey, here's what we're doing. If you don't want bottles, give them to me and I'll bring them in. Of course, I can't now, but when I get home. But I don't collected so far. I was hoping Justin could give us an idea. But I went in empty bottles before we left, a day or two before we left. And I'm guessing that what you think, honey, was
Well, there are at least 10 or 12 deliveries.
at least 10 to 12 deliveries, and there was a lot of bottles and cans on that list. So, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
that is a
Thank you for
phenomenal
doing
idea,
that.
Wayne. And thank you so much for setting all that up. And it does seem to have like really kicked off. So like that, I feel is going to compound a lot or add up over time for sure.
Just
Yeah.
Mike, right, Mike?
Right.
Wayne, do you want to give a shout out to which redemption centers are the ones that are doing it? I can show it on the map.
Yep, it's in green. I call it Bebe's. It's BB's, BEBE''S on 202, and it's right next door to the Circle K.
Yes, yeah. Here we
They
go.
must think you drink a lot.
Yeah, it is at 7:38 202 Green Main. It's on the crossroad of Allen Pond Road and 202. Looks like this building. And what do you do, Wayne? Do you just walk in and say you want to donate your bottles and cans to the Sabattus Pond Watershed Project account?
Yes, and what happens is that there's a young lady, her and her husband run the place. I know them well now because I go there a lot. And I just gave them the bottles and cans and said I don't know if they have an envelope or whatever they're doing, but I just said,
Justin set it up.
yeah, Justin set all that up.
Pick it up once a month.
And he's going to pick it up once a month. So I just said, just get that to Sabattus Pond Watershed. And she did. And then the other one is MT Bottle in Sabattus on Sabattus Street. And I'm trying to think of the girl's name that owns the place.
Dominic is their son.
Well, Dominic is the son, and he's sort of the manager of the Redemption Center. And they have a list there on a sheet of paper. You have to look for it because it says SP Water.
SAB.
Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
And yeah, and he keeps a running sheet. He lets it build up to $500. After 500, you come and get your money. But he keeps a tally, running list of the day you came and how many bottles and cans. And again, they're giving 6 cents and 16 cents on a wine bottle.
Wow.
Okay, you see that that bin there? It's the red bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there where your cursor is. Okay. So that's where you can drop stuff off, but that's why I think we need the stickers so that they know which donation to
Yes.
send it to. Because that doesn't say that that's going to go to SPWP. I think that they may have different organizations that qualify to get the donations in a certain month. So we need to specify which ones are for us.
Well, actually, Donna, you have to go inside and tell them you're giving it to SWP.
Yeah.
Well, before you got here, Gary, I was talking to Wayne about an idea that I had about stickers that we could just put on there and not have to talk to anybody. Because the last time I was there.
Oh, yes, I was signing out as Nick. Yes.
And I think that's something, before we do that, we'll get there, Donna, at some point. We should definitely follow up first with Empty Bottle and let them know that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
And-
no, that's wonderful. And the address for this is 1360 Sabattus Street. Or, sorry, let me get the actual one. Yeah, 1360 Sabattus Street, Lewiston, Maine. So this is phenomenal. Yeah,
That could easily be a couple $1,000s a year.
Or you get 2
Oh my
for
God.
sure.
Be a
Yeah.
lot. If we got a lot,
Yeah.
Spread the word.
spread the word.
Yes. Yeah.
On the Bebes or BBs, however you want to pronounce it, they have out in front of their store 3 or 4 different places for collection site. One's for the youth hall or a fire department or other charities that people donate. And maybe when Justin gets feeling well, he can go back and we can set something like that there so you can just drop them off out front, not have to wait around.
Oh, good. They have a Facebook page too. So we
Yeah.
can cross post on that stuff.
Yep.
Oh, there's a lab.
Yeah. Great profile picture.
Oh,
It's Black, named Blackie.
Yeah. Oh, that's adorable.
yes.
And yeah, big shout out to these guys. Thank you very much. And thanks, Wayne, for setting that up and everyone who donates.
And my wife here has she influenced me to go further than just me and her. So I thank her too, because it all
Yeah.
worked.
Oh, I already have our bag.
after this one. Definitely.
Awesome. AB, do you want to mention something about swag? I know you are in the process of ordering, correct?
Yep, it's already been ordered. Hold on a sec. What did we order? Let's see. Pretty good. Let's look at trying to find my spreadsheet. Sorry.
Up front. Well, back of the camp.
we, about 28 different items? No, 29. 30 different things were ordered. So, combination of hoodies, t-shirts, crew necks, and so I think it's great that, we'll have that many more people. I mean, some people ordered multiple things, but, we'll have that many more people walking around, letting people know about the Watershed project. So that's great stuff. And, at some point I'll do it again. And some people have asked about hats. And if you go down to Freckles in Winthrop, they sell stickers that say Sabattus Pond, and they have keychains that that have Sabattus Pond. So nobody has said anything to me, but I know Georgia has worn hers, and people have said stuff to her, and she's talked about the work we're doing. So it's not a big moneymaker by any means, but the PR I think is great. So thanks.
She's
to
more
everyone.
attractive than you are.
No doubt about that, Donna. No doubt about that.
Awesome.
Back, if I could, Nick, a little bit to, we had quite a discussion about septic systems.
Yeah.
And to me, there's a bigger problem than in my mind. And I don't know if you're going to ever get to it, but people need to understand they fertilize their lawns. And there's a lot of people, I mean, just right around the pond, you see these beautiful green plush lawns on people's lawns. That isn't natural. I don't care who you are. That is not natural. You're putting weed and feed, you're putting fertilizer. I don't know what you're doing, but people are. Or even the big pastures. I mean, they're not going to stop that, but it's all green because they're putting manure down and getting it grow for haying. And all at some point will end up in that pond because there aren't enough barriers at the water line to stop it. That people, even including us, I didn't do it, but it was done with the place when my wife bought the place, cleared all the trees out down front and made a nice open space area so you could look out at the lake. We all do it. Everybody does it. But that's why we had that thing we talked about where people can come around and do a study of your house, and you can build a rock wall, or you can put some bushes or shrubs or something to stop the flow. But as long as people are putting fertilizer and those things on their lawn and running rain, when the water runs down the hill, it all ends up in that pond. So it's just another, I've read that report years. It was done, I think, in 2004. A bigger contributor to the pond was the golf courses than it was the septic systems, because they fertilized the greens and the fields. And I mean, it all ends up in the pond. Harvesting that Sabattus Mountain, I think it's called, it cleared all that out, and all that ends up in that pond. So it's more than just my report that I read said it was 2.1% of the study back then was septic system, 2.1%. So I'm going to say 98% of it wasn't.
Yeah.
98% not septic systems. And sure, you can go after septic systems, and we should, but there's bigger fish to fry than going after somebody the runoff from those drains going down the road. This is my 2 cents. And I'm hoping this new survey, or Sabattus Pond Watershed survey that we do, will bring that out, and we can make it public knowledge, so that it'll take away some of that. Well, it's this or it's that, or it's this or it's that. So we'll know. Then how do and maybe we fix it, and maybe we can't. We tackle the little ones, but it's more than just one thing.
Right. Oh, without a doubt. So, Nick, maybe for your study or whatever, they just replaced culverts on 132. You take it right off of Mars Point Road, between Mars Point Road and Libby Road. They replaced 2. I think they were older, but let's say they're 24-inch culverts, whatever, with 30-inch culverts. All they did on the lake side, so on the west side, was throw some riprap on the side of the road.
Yep.
So when you increase the flow of water towards the lake without putting in any type of remediation, what does that do to the water? Just
Oh,
it's interesting thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, it definitely will
You know,
accelerate.
you know,
it
you
would
better you
increase
put in a
erosion.
bigger pipe. You put in a bigger pipe because there's more flow from the mountain, but more flow
The
from the
reason why
mountain
there's more
because there's
flow
no
for the
trees on
mountain, yeah, is because there's no trees on
the
it.
mountain anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does that do to the lake? That just means the mountain flows quicker into the lake.
It's just a
Correct.
bigger issue than
Yeah. Yep. So if you go down, yep. Bring your cursor down. Nope, down. Bring your cursor down. Right. Nope. Right about there. See where that dot is? Right about there. Is where
Okay.
they replace the culvert. Where the street sign is. Yeah.
Yeah.
they did on Sawyer Road too.
But yeah, just something. Just when you do the watershed.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, I mean, 2 days. You know, 2 days, and it might have been they ripped out. I don't know exactly what they ripped out, but they put in two 30-inch culverts.
Yeah.
I was
And they
wondering
were,
about that. Yeah. So you're saying there was no
They
filtering?
last Monday and Tuesday, was it last Monday and Tuesday, Donna?
That
Yes,
sounds about right.
the
Yeah.
last Tuesday
That
and
they
Wednesday,
put,
whatever it was. It was 2 days last week.
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And there were two
I
culverts.
would not be surprised if their
Yep.
increased size is due to the increased flow from the mountainside. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And again, the thought was there's more water coming down the road is icy, so we need more passage on the road. But again, it was half a truckload of riprap. To affect all the sediment and everything else. I mean, how does that help the lake?
Yeah.
Or the watershed? Yeah.
They did the same Sawyer Road, the one that washed away by near Hot Dog Road. All they did is put in a better culvert and a little bit of crushed riprap, and there it goes. Whoosh, we're done.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't know. I mean, at least that's not going to get clogged again and take out an entire road.
Right, that's true. But all
I mean,
that,
I would think that. I mean, you know what was there before.
yeah. But all I'm saying is all that.
I mean, in my opinion, that was a huge improvement. A huge improvement. You know, I mean, free flow. Gonna have. I mean, you guys lost a road for what, 2 years because no one cleaned out the culvert. I mean, that was horrible.
Certainly, everything is very interconnected. It impacts everything else. I definitely agree about the septic systems, like in that, they're certainly a contributing factor. Definitely not even remotely close to the size of all of the legacy nutrient-rich soil from historic farming over the period of 100 years around this pond. I mean, you can see the remnants of these fields to this day. Imagine like 50, 60 years ago at their peak, and how much less trees and less vegetation and all of that just going into the pond year after year. And it is a much bigger problem, I think, with the idea of the septic systems. It's like thinking about things that we might be able to control on a smaller level, which collectively can make an impact. But with hope that this new watershed survey that we will be starting with the grant really tries to identify like these areas in which there is a lot of soil coming in, and like imagine like the things that we're going to be like pumping out like educational wise, and connecting with Lake Smart, which we are we want to sign up for classes for, and teach the train the teacher type thing that's in the community to like go through and like show your neighbors this type of stuff too. Like those are like the more of the smaller scale things, but like we talk a lot about like scale on this. Like there is 5 municipalities in total within this watershed: Leeds, Monmouth, Wales, Green, Sabattus, like impacting like trying to make an impact like on how we deal with erosion and how we deal with development also too is going to take a lot of work and like a lot of coordination. So like the things that this watershed survey, I hope, really helps like solidify is like the data behind that, so we can then go to these municipalities and be like, this is how development around this pond and within this watershed is impacting, like, our, like, its water quality and like the quality of life of the residents around it as well, and the wildlife too. And like going to those communities and trying to facilitate some type of like policy change, and how and when things are built around the pond, like maybe not having a mine or a gravel pit that close, or maybe not strip mining a mountain, or strip like cutting down all of the logs, all the trees on a
Clear
mountainside.
cutting.
Yeah, clear cutting. There we go. Clear cutting an entire mountainside, and maybe not putting, although beautiful, a apple orchard on a slope that is as steep as this. Right on this side. Things like that, and those are a lot longer term, like larger scale thinking
Yeah.
that need to be impacted to be able to like change things. But like those things, like learning more about septic systems, like, if one or even a dozen people around the pond make a more conscious effort to do that, and, then talk to their neighbors about that, like those things have a tendency to spread within like communities. And I think that that's like, where a lot of like these changes of these things that we can control really lie, like improving education, improving communication about these things that we are trying to educate people about, and then tying that in with a call to action of a change in behavior. And hopefully, like through seeing neighbors doing this, or hearing neighbors talk about it, not even one time, but like multiple times, like over the course of years, like has an impact. I mean, how many times do we hear things on the day to day once, and it goes in one ear out the other, or you actually make a connection with it after hearing about it a few times, and then also seeing something that it impacts in person in real life. And it's about making those connections to prompt that behavior change, which I think is good. But anything else before we close out? It is 7:05. So
I think you're saying, Nick, that we need to keep our eye on the big picture perspective, and not just focus on the 2% of what goes on with the septic, but there's a whole big eagle's eye view that we've got to get around this pond that includes the whole.
Yeah, I mean, as complicated as this would be to orchestrate, I think it's important for both. There is some psychological aspect in like this type of work that is like, in community building, that is like built through like addressing these things that we can control. Like, it's kind of funny, the advent of cutting your lawn was like not a thing up until probably like, I think it's attributed to like French aristocracy in like the 1800s. And the best thing for your lawn is actually to not cut it and let it grow. That's, of course, like a hazard for ticks nowadays and other things. And that's not essentially what I'm advocating for. But like, those counterintuitive things that we regularly do in our society that like make situations or exacerbate situations, even in the slightest of it. But like, I think it's important to keep our like long-term objectives focused on the large picture, and like having like a very like, and I know this is difficult, like a system view of like not necessarily just even like the pond, but like the watershed, and even how our social factors impact into that. How a change in select board members in Monmouth could mean a change for the top of our watershed up here, and what goes into our pond, and like those things, and but we can address these smaller term things too. And like, I am not in any way saying that those aren't important, because I definitely think they are. But I said this to divide those things in that sense. Like the watershed plan and like that avenue that we're pursuing is like definitely more towards like long-term goals and objectives from a much broader view. While like what we're trying to do with these guest speakers, and we're trying to do with like the newsletter and this educational stuff, is make like a collection of resources that people can turn to like try to address these things that they can control. Because not a single one of us on an individual scale can like address like the development like policies around the pond from 3 different communities. You know what I mean? That takes collective action. The things that attribute to those 1-2% things around the pond, like Wayne was saying, and you all were saying, like the use of fertilizers, the use of switching laundry detergents, like Gary was saying, or anything like that. Like those are things that we should definitely advocate for and provide educational material for why people should do that. At the same time, like 2 avenues to 2 different ends, but they both are trying to achieve and build towards the same thing.
Any idea of next meeting?
Yeah, that is gonna, let me hear back from Wayne and reach out to a couple people to try to see a guest speakers time and maybe see, but I'm gonna say probably towards the end of the month in October. So.
Yep.
Thing is this.
And I will pick a date. I'll try to pick a date before the end of the first week in October too, so we have some time.
Mhm.
Awesome. Anything else from anybody?
Thank you for everything again.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Agreed.
Of course. Everyone have a great night and thanks for joining. Yeah. See you all next time.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
Night.
You.
See ya.